Wow, who's this bitch on wide? I came yesterday and we did a little preparation, like a little prep, and I stood right here. And I looked up and I thought to myself, I was like, I spend about 12, 15 hours a day on my own in complete solitude, listening to audiobooks, drawing in my drawing room, and I have to talk to about 4 or 5 people in a week. And here I am talking to 536 of you in 20 minutes. If you think you're getting a word out of me after this, you've got another thing coming because I've outdone my quota 100%. I want to talk to you about an area I thought I knew a lot about. I actually thought I was a bit of an expert. I believed that the only way to become successful was to create a perfect plan and to execute it at all costs. And if you didn't execute the perfect plan, it was because you were lazy or you didn't work hard enough. It kind of brings me to the crux of what I want to say today. It's based on a quote from an incredible athlete, Mike Tyson. He said in an interview after one of his fights, he said, "Everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face." Think, how good is it? We all make plans. We're just the biggest planners. It's part of our DNA. And no matter how big or small they might be, somehow these little suckers always have a way of changing. My parents last weekend had a dinner party. My mum is the best planner you've ever met. She has, the meal all planned out. Everyone's coming at a certain time. And she gave my dad one job. "Rob, you've got one job. We need the steak cooked medium rare." My mum got punched in the face that night. When Dad had too many Shirazes, the steak came off double well done and the night would turn to shit. They had frozen pizzas, don't worry. So I just want you to think of a plan like a boxing match. You're either one of 2 players. You're either, number 1, super tight and anxious and you have a perfect plan, you know exactly how it's all going to play out, and then when you get punched in the face, and you will get punched in the face, you fall hard because you never saw that punch coming. Or you're fighter number 2. You're someone who's a little bit more relaxed, you let it happen, you're adaptable, and because you're moving around a lot, P.S. I've never fought boxing in my life, as you can probably see, but because you're adaptable, you move around a lot, and you kind of anticipate the punch, and you bounce back, and you keep on fighting. Well, guess what? I was player number 1. I was a stubborn little know-it-all with an answer for everything, and I lived my life by the biggest rule book you have ever seen. I always set a perfect plan, and I knew that whatever I set my mind to, there wasn't a change of plan that could outsmart me. No. You've all heard of Bridezilla. Nah, I was Planzilla. I first started, building my Planzilla ways as a young elite athlete. I was a swimmer, and I was fit, I was focused, I never missed a training session, I did everything I had to do, I went above and beyond. I went to bed early, I didn't go to parties and drink with my friends and kiss boys, no, none of that. I was so focused on the prize, and I did represent my country. I had great successes as a young, developing athlete, but my plan was to make the Olympics. And guess what? Olympic trials came around. I never made the Olympics. I didn't even come close. But because that was my plan and it didn't work out exactly like I wanted it to, I quit, I gave up. And instead of pushing through and persevering and developing, I just let it all go. And I got punched so hard, I kind of started to taste blood. But don't worry, Planzilla hadn't gone anywhere. She was just starting. I then went on to the next area of my life, and I was going to be the Frank Lloyd Wright of our generation. That's it. I had this very neat 5-year university schedule all laid out in front of me. It was going to be full of hand-drawn plans and glossy magazines. But I got to year number 2 and shit started to get real. So we had this one assignment, and it was a CAD assignment. It had to be done on CAD, so you had to do it on the computer. And I had no idea I'd be so hopeless on the computer. Like, you've never seen anyone more awkward in front of a computer. That was me. And so I thought, I can outsmart you. So I drew this hand assignment. So I drew this assignment that should have been done on the computer, and I was presenting it, and I almost got away with it. And at the end of our presentations, the tutor said, if you could just, submit your CAD file along with your assignments, that'd be great. And I was like, oh, bugger, if you want to play that game, then I'm out. So I quit. I dropped out of architecture because I couldn't deal with the fact I was so hopeless at the computer programs. But don't worry, I set my sights to another plan. I was going to be the next Wolf of Wall Street. You know it. Buy low, sell high. How hard could it be? I mean, if Leo could do it, I could do it. So off I went, and I was pretty confident because I was pretty good at maths at school, and I was like, yeah, I'll probably get, headhunted by an investment bank or something, no big deal. But this is how things actually played out. I spent 5 years doing a 3-year degree, and I'm still not finished. I paid people to do my assignments. Yes, I shouldn't be saying that because there's probably a lecturer sitting in the crowd going, oh, God damn, you can't come back. In my worst semester, I enrolled in 4 subjects and failed 3. My GPA is below a fail, and my current student loan is the price of a luxury car. I had 100% hit rock bottom. I had nothing. I didn't have a plan. My uni wasn't going well. My job prospects weren't looking good. And I didn't have $1 in my bank account, not $1. I'd been out of school for 7 years, and I'd blown the entire lot on luxury clothes. I was a full-time shopaholic, not part-time, not casual, full-time. And I spent the whole lot, I just was obsessed with this perfect world of luxury retail. I kind of used this perfect world to kind of mask the own insecurities I was having in real life. So let me tell you a story about hitting rock bottom. I've got to let you know, I don't drink. I'm not a drinker. I'm one of those cats. I'm always sober. But I was out one night with some friends at a bar, and they'd been shouting me Diet Cokes all night. And it was only fair that I did my turn and shouted them. And I knew that before I left home, I checked my bank account. My credit card was almost maxed out, but I had $39.32 left. I went to the bar. The bartender said, that'll be $41, thanks. Oh my goodness gracious, I couldn't even pay for drinks. Like, how embarrassing is that? And that is just one of the stories of me hitting rock bottom. There's a quote, or actually a line out of a song by Kanye West. He says, $2,000 bag with no cash in your purse. Well, Kanye, let me tell you a little story. I had a $5,000 bag with no cash in my card, so chuck that in a lyric. So I had been punched 3 times, and I got punched hard, and each time I got up and started fighting the exact same way, made a perfect plan, and for some reason this 3rd punch got me a dead set beauty. I just knew I had to get up and do something a little bit, just a little bit different. I had always been fascinated by art. I couldn't paint, I couldn't sculpt, my thingies they exploded in the kiln, but I loved drawing. All through school and university, I'd do these small drawings of perfume bottles, shoes, whatever it was, and I'd give them away as gifts to friends and family. And I loved how relaxed I was when I drew. It was like I was a different person. I'm quite hyperactive normally, and when I drew, I was just so calm and relaxed, and I just loved it. It was just one of the best things. And I remember my art teacher at school in Year 12 said to me, she said, CJ, have you ever considered a career in fine art? And I was like, bitch, please. Why would you even say that to me? I'm not that person, obviously. I'm structured. It's way too flimsy. So maybe out of sheer stupidity or the fact that I had absolutely nothing to lose, I wanted to drop it all and just draw. I was over this intense frustration I was put on myself, playing by the rules, doing the right thing, this expectation. I wanted it to stop. I just wanted to just chill the fuck out and just relax. So I made that decision. I said, all right, I'm going to drop out of uni, I'm going to quit my job, and I'm just going to draw. But I knew that was a bit silly because I didn't even have any money to buy pens or paper. Imagine if I went to my parents and I said, Mum, look, I know I'm 25 and I'm still living at home and not really any career prospects. Do you think I could I borrow some money? it just wouldn't have gone down so well. They would have been like, bitch, please. It just would have not worked out. So for the next couple of weeks, I was hell-bent on figuring out a way how to make money quick. This big age-old question. Deal drugs, I don't know, busk on the street, rob a bank, I don't know. I needed to make it quickly. And then it dawned on me that I was sitting on a gold mine, dead set gold mine. I had all these clothes, and I'm not just talking a few, I'm talking heaps of clothes, some of them ball gowns that haven't even, the tags haven't been taken off yet. I just had all these clothes. So I decided to do the unthinkable. And the females in the audience, I'm sure you understand how hard this would have been. I mean, this is my life, this is my everything. And I sold my entire wardrobe on eBay. And I left myself legitimately with a few white t-shirts and a couple of pairs of jeans. And it was the best thing I ever did, because in that moment I'd never seen so much money in a bank account at one time, and I was away. I quit my job, I dropped out of uni, and I was just going to draw. But I did make one pact with myself. I said, all right, you can draw, but you can only draw for 365 days, for 1 year. And if you don't sell anything in a year, then I'd go back and try and re-enroll in uni. So off I went, and I drew, and I spent 7 days a week drawing, and every hour of every day, and I would go to bed at 2 a.m., wake up at 7, and just draw. It was just so great. No words. It was just wonderful. But to give you an idea of how weird this whole concept seemed to people, I'd be just drawing. I bumped into a family friend, and she said, "Oh, Catherine," my name's Catherine, by the way. "Catherine, how's mum and dad?" And I was like, "Oh, no, really good, Mrs. Jones." And "Catherine, how are you? I mean, are you still doing architecture?" I was like, "No, I went and did finance." "Oh, mum said you were doing finance. Have you got a job, an internship? How's that going?" "Well, look, I'm actually not really doing that anymore. I'm just dropped out of uni. I'm just drawing." What do you mean, just drawing? Like sculptures, like landscapes, portraits? "No, you know what? I'm actually just drawing these really big things. Like I just draw with a pen, like skulls and shoes and things around the house." If I could have taken a photo of this woman's face and put it up behind me, it was one of utter disgust and bewilderment. It was like her little Jack Russell started speaking Japanese. She couldn't, and that conversation ended so quickly, and she ran out of there, and I don't blame her. Even my parents thought it was a little bit weird. They were like, "Honey, are you all right? Like, do you want some help?" I just kept on going. I didn't listen to anyone. I just kept on drawing, and I didn't even know if people liked it. And then my friends started chiming in. They were like, "CJ, they'd always known me as this hard, structured person who had a plan for everything." And they said, "Well, why don't you approach a gallery? Like, that's what you should do. Like, don't you want to sell them at the end of the day? Like, isn't that the plan?" And I thought about approaching a gallery, and I just thought, you know what? For the first time in my life, I haven't got a structured plan. I'm not consulting my rule book. I'm not doing things the right way. I'm not living by anyone's expectations. And I didn't want that pressure of having to do what galleries do. And I didn't think they'd like it, and they still don't. But anyway, so I just uploaded things on Instagram. I just draw, take a photo, put it on Instagram, draw, take it on Instagram. And I spent ages doing that. And there was, this was 6 months went by, and I hadn't had a sale yet. And someone contacted me on Instagram. They, after 6 months, it was a collector, and they said, "Oh, we want to come and have a look at the R.M. Williams boots you're drawing." And I was like, "Well, what do you mean? They're not even finished?" And they came, they're like, "No, we want to come and have a look tomorrow." I was like, "Oh, good God, all right." So in they came, and at this stage I was drawing in my bedroom, picking up undies off the floor, like whatever. And I was in my bedroom, and they came in, and they were asking questions, and it was the first time someone had really been impressed by what I was doing. I was kind of like, "Oh wow," like a little bit excited, like what? And they said, after a while, they said, we want to buy it." And I was like, "No." And they said, "Yeah, like we want to buy it. Like, how much do you want for it?" And I was like, "Oh, no." So what I did, I just pulled a number, threw them the number, they accepted the number, and I was away. this first sale meant everything for me. It allowed me, first of all, it gave me some confidence. And secondly, hang on, I didn't have to go back to uni. I mean, how good was that? I got my sale, I was away, like, haha, mum and dad, like, look at me go. I'm still living at home, so things haven't really progressed. But but look, I had got that sale, and I stand here on the stage talking to you, and I've had some of the most exceptional experiences. 2 years ago, I was a kid who was pretending, to be drunk at a bar, and here I am standing in front of you explaining how, like, I'm a practicing artist, if you want to call it like that. And I've been given all these opportunities. I mean, I've been fortunate enough to meet one of my inspirations, Kanye West, and give him and have chat. I gave him a hug. We had chats. I gave him one of my sketches, and that was unbelievable. I've met some of the most exceptional creative minds in the world. I've had more exposure than I ever thought possible. I didn't even know that there were that many news outlets. I've sold all my works, and they sell on Instagram. Like, what? That's like a little app everyone uses. Like, what? So I've sold all these works on Instagram, and they sell out within a couple of minutes of me or my representative posting them. And it's just been no words. Like, I'm lost for words. It's just insane. And I'm so grateful that through a series of unfortunate events, I've found a talent. And I probably have many talents, singing, cooking, whatever. But I found this talent. And I'm one of the most stoked human beings going around. There was actually, last week, this was last month, there was a family who came and said to me, we were always going to get our son a Rolex for his, for his graduation. He's graduating from law. And I was like, oh, that's great. And they said, but he came to us the other night and said he'd rather have one of your sketches. And when they told me that story, I burst into tears. Like, I couldn't even hold it together. And there's just no words for that. And to have someone so excited and to want to be part of my crazy idea, no words. So here I am talking to you, and I want to leave you with an idea and a thought. Next time you're making a plan, and you will make one, you can't get away from it, you can't hide. But next time you make a plan, and when you get hit, we all get hit, which type of fighter are you going to be? Are you going to be one who's super intense and you've got a perfect plan and it has to go a certain way and you become Plantzilla? Or are you going to be relaxed? Are you going to roll with the punches? I've been rolling with the punches for a couple of years now, and it's been extraordinary. I didn't think it was possible, but to let go and to sometimes just let things happen a little bit, I'm so grateful. So good luck, and thank you very much for listening. Thank you.